Buzzfeed has found the problem with America. You ready? According to them, it's white people. Yes, that might be you. A year-end article on the website lists what it says are 37 things white people need to stop ruining in 2018. Among the listed, the Oscars, the United States of America, that's a general term, mac and cheese, I guess how we ruin that, I'm not sure, sneakers, Korean pop music, and protests. Joe Concha writes for media for The Hill and is also white. Joe, so you're a bit responsible here. You're not listed in the 37. Where do they get off coming off the list like this?
I think I'm only half white.
I'm not sure.
I had some relatives that came by way of Cuba.
So at least 16 of these things you're responsible for then. So what are they getting at?
They're getting at that white people are bad for this country. Because one of them was that white people voted for Donald Trump at a 58% clip as opposed to Hillary Clinton at 37. He's in office there for white people caused this. But let's play a game, okay?
Okay.
Let's swap out white people ruining America 37 ways and put in black or Latino or any minority group. And you tell me how BuzzFeed, the editor, wouldn't be fired right now and how every advertiser on BuzzFeed wouldn't be boycotted.
Oh, yeah, believe me. After we saw some of the backlash when the writers on Vanity Fair came forward and just had some sarcastic things to say about Hillary Clinton's terrible behavior over the last year, you saw, and they apologized, you can only imagine. But will they face any backlash from a list like this?
You would think, but no, that hasn't been happening. And they've done lists like this before. There is precedent. One story they wrote was white people stay colonizing. And then white people are a plague to the planet was another one. So this appears to be a theme at the BuzzFeed. But I got to tell you, your floor director was walking me out here, and he said, you know what, because of that story, I stopped following BuzzFeed. I'm not going to read it anymore. You could only cross this line so many times.
All right. So lastly, do you think there's a chance that they're just having fun? They're just like throwing it out there to get us talking about it? Dare I say buzz? Or do you think there's an agenda?
I think they're desperate because I look at the numbers, and they missed their revenue targets, according to the Wall Street Journal, by 50 to 70 million. They were supposed to have an IPO in 2018. Most analysts now say that isn't going to happen. So what do? You try to stir the pot even more and more, and when you do that, you dig the hole deeper and deeper.
When you bring a guy like Joe Concha in on a Friday, you got to come up with at least 2 topics, and we think we came up with one. CNN has spent most of this past week breathlessly reporting every detail about a white truck they believe President Trump sent to keep the media from watching him golf at Mar-a-Lago.
The president also got back on the golf course, but not that we can prove it because a giant white box truck blocks reporters.
What's up with the white truck blocking his golf swing?
This is a White House that seems particularly sensitive, for whatever reason, about images of President Trump on the golf course.
This truck showed up out of nowhere, and we don't know where it came from.
Now back to that mysterious truck blocking the president's golf swing from the cameras.
One of the advantages of having your own golf course is you could also get a guy to get in a truck to block that golf course from the road. What was the obsession there? I mean, how could they focus like, not only are his tweets programming the entire network, but so are his non-actions.
We ever think about what was in the box truck? Could there have been the ice cream that brings 2 scoops of ice cream? Remember, that was a CNN report that Trump has 2 instead of 1. Or maybe how many Diet Cokes he's having. It's delivering Diet Cokes. So maybe that should be the investigation. Look, CNN is not the network that it once was, under the Aaron Browns and the Bernard Shaws. What's a big story this year, Brian, that almost no one's talking about? The ISIS caliphate being decimated in Iraq and Syria. They've lost 98% of their territory. They once had 45,000 fighters 2 years ago. They have less than 1,000 now. If there was ever a story that was in CNN's wheelhouse, given what they've done in the past in terms of their Middle East reporting, this is it, the ISIS story. And I don't see too much coverage on that, and I see crap, and this is crap. These types of focus right now from a once proud network that shouldn't be covering this sort of stuff. It's ridiculous.
But, Joe, they do have an agenda. They are obsessed with destroying him. It's coming from the upper echelons of CNN, no matter who owns them. And they've gotten some stories wrong because of that. Anthony Scaramucci, for one, links to the Russian government. They had to apologize for that.
Apologize, and they fired 3 reporters that were on that they basically just had hired. One actually won a Pulitzer. Gone. And then, of course, a couple of weeks ago, that WikiLeaks story that they had. They said that Donald Trump Jr. and the Trump campaign had information 10 days before everybody else. It turned out it was already in the public domain, and that's because they relied on unnamed sources that also duped CBS and NBC. They should reveal who that source was, because that source was purposely putting out false information, whoever that may have been, a political operative or even a lawmaker. And the Washington Post did something right there, Brian. They asked for the document, actual evidence, to see if Donald Trump Jr. got that or not. It took 2 minutes for them to get it. CNN went to air with it. So, I don't want to stomp on CNN and say, like, this is a bad network and everybody's bad there. I think Jake Tapper does some good stuff. They have good reporters, great producers.
Alison Camerata is my female idol.
We just saw Dave Briggs, right, on there as well, who's been on Fox and Friends. They have some good people there. But when they keep doing stories like this, it destroys the credibility of a very once proud network. Get back to the guys you used to be. Focus on news and stop focusing so much on taking down a president.
Last thing, prediction. In 2018, will there be less anti-Trump and more balance on the two? Knock him down when they think he's wrong, but also note the stock market, the economy, the passage of the tax reform. See more of a balance?
The toothpaste is already out of the tube. You know what they say about putting toothpaste back in the tube, or you can't unring a bell. We're already down that path. CNN's made a business decision to go negative on Donald Trump. The problem is they lost audience in prime time from the previous year. Think about it, 2017, a chaotic, great year for news in terms of consumers bringing it in, and they actually lost audience. That's very hard to do.
Joe Concha, it's very nice of you to come in on this beautiful Friday.
It's gorgeous out, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Gonna go swimming.
Yeah, you definitely should wear a coat, okay? And don't lick a pole. Meanwhile, we have an update on the Vegas mass shooting investigation. That story's next. Plus, we're going to discuss how Vegas police plan to keep New Year's revelers safe 3 months after the deadliest shooting in American history. Don't go anywhere.